project scope includes the design and installation of a substation. It involves electrical infrastructure, including switchgear, transformers, and protection systems. Civil engineering for site preparation and foundations is also within the scope. Procurement and installation of materials are necessary. Finally, testing and commissioning of the installed systems. Project requirements include extensive experience in substation design and construction. A proven track record of successful project delivery is essential. The ability to meet project specifications and deadlines is also required. Strong financial stability is a key requirement. A commitment to safety and quality is paramount. Selection criteria will focus on experience with similar projects. The availability of a skilled workforce will be considered. Competitive pricing is an important factor. Proven ability to manage complex electrical projects is a crucial selection criterion. Electrical contractors with the necessary experience are invited to submit their proposals. Project details and bid documents can be obtained. All qualified electrical contractors are encouraged to submit their bids by the deadline. The project involves various technical aspects related to substation design and construction. This includes understanding switchgear configurations, transformer types, and protection schemes. Civil engineering aspects involve site grading, foundation design, and drainage systems. Electrical contractors should demonstrate their expertise in these areas. Procurement involves sourcing high-quality materials and equipment. Installation must be performed according to industry standards and codes. Testing and commissioning ensure that the substation operates safely and reliably. The design phase requires detailed engineering calculations and drawings. These drawings should adhere to all applicable codes and standards. Switchgear selection involves considering voltage levels, current ratings, and interrupting capacity. Transformer selection depends on load requirements and voltage transformation ratios. Protection systems must be designed to detect and isolate faults quickly and effectively. Civil engineering work includes soil testing, foundation design, and site drainage. Material procurement requires careful selection of vendors and suppliers. Installation involves proper wiring, grounding, and equipment mounting. Testing includes insulation resistance tests, transformer turns ratio tests, and protective relay testing. Commissioning involves energizing the substation and verifying its performance. The project requires adherence to all relevant safety regulations. Electrical contractors must have a comprehensive safety program in place. All personnel must be properly trained and equipped. Regular safety audits should be conducted to ensure compliance. Quality control is essential throughout the project. Electrical contractors must have a quality management system in place. Inspections should be performed at each stage of the project. Documentation must be maintained to track progress and identify any issues. Project management is critical to success. Electrical contractors must have a qualified project manager to oversee the project. The project manager is responsible for planning, scheduling, and controlling the project. Effective communication is essential to ensure that all stakeholders are informed. Financial stability is important to ensure that the project is completed successfully. The electrical contractors must have the financial resources to cover all project costs. They should also have insurance coverage to protect against any potential liabilities. Skilled workforce is necessary to perform the work safely and efficiently. Electrical contractors must have a team of qualified electricians, engineers, and technicians. They should also provide ongoing training to ensure that their workforce is up to date on the latest technologies and techniques. Competitive pricing is essential to win the bid. Electrical contractors must submit a competitive price proposal that is based on a thorough understanding of the project requirements. They should also be able to justify their pricing based on their experience, qualifications, and resources. Management of complex electrical projects requires expertise in planning, organizing, and controlling resources. Electrical contractors must have a proven track record of managing complex electrical projects successfully. They should also be able to demonstrate their ability to handle any challenges that may arise. Substation design and construction is a complex and challenging undertaking. Electrical contractors who are interested in bidding on this project should carefully review the project requirements and selection criteria. They should also be prepared to submit a comprehensive bid proposal that demonstrates their experience, qualifications, and resources. The electrical infrastructure component includes all the wiring, conduit, and equipment necessary to distribute power throughout the substation. The switchgear component includes the circuit breakers, switches, and other devices used to control and protect the electrical system. The transformer component includes the devices used to step up or step down voltage levels. The protection systems component includes the relays, fuses, and other devices used to protect the electrical system from faults. The civil engineering component includes the work necessary to prepare the site for the substation and to construct the foundations for the equipment. The procurement component includes the purchase of all the materials and equipment necessary for the project. The installation component includes the work necessary to install all the equipment and wiring. The testing component includes the work necessary to test all the equipment and wiring to ensure that it is functioning properly. The commissioning component includes the work necessary to put the substation into operation. The design phase involves creating detailed engineering drawings and specifications. These drawings and specifications will be used by the electrical contractor to construct the substation. The design phase also involves selecting the appropriate equipment and materials for the substation. The installation phase involves installing all the equipment and wiring according to the engineering drawings and specifications. The installation phase also involves connecting the substation to the power grid. The testing phase involves testing all the equipment and wiring to ensure that it is functioning properly. The testing phase also involves verifying that the substation meets all applicable codes and standards. The commissioning phase involves putting the substation into operation. The commissioning phase also involves training the personnel who will be operating and maintaining the substation. Safety is a top priority during all phases of the project. Electrical contractors must have a comprehensive safety program in place to protect their workers and the public. Electrical contractors must also comply with all applicable safety regulations. Quality control is essential to ensure that the substation is constructed properly and that it will operate reliably. Electrical contractors must have a quality control program in place to monitor the construction process and to ensure that all work meets the required standards. Project management is critical to the success of the project. Electrical contractors must have a qualified project manager to oversee the project and to ensure that it is completed on time and within budget. The project manager will be responsible for coordinating all aspects of the project, including design, installation, testing, and commissioning. The electrical contractor must also have a strong financial stability. This is because the substation project is a large and complex undertaking, and the electrical contractor must have the financial resources to cover all project costs. The electrical contractor must also have a skilled workforce. This is because the substation project requires a team of qualified electricians, engineers, and technicians. The electrical contractor must also be able to provide ongoing training to ensure that their workforce is up to date on the latest technologies and techniques. The electrical contractor must also be able to submit a competitive price proposal. This is because the substation project is a competitive bidding process, and the electrical contractor must be able to offer a price that is attractive to the client. The electrical contractor must also be able to manage complex electrical projects. This is because the substation project is a complex undertaking, and the electrical contractor must be able to effectively manage all aspects of the project. Substation design and construction requires a deep understanding of electrical engineering principles, safety regulations, and project management techniques. The electrical contractor must be able to demonstrate their expertise in these areas in order to be considered for the project. Electrical contractors should also have experience with similar projects. This will give them a better understanding of the challenges involved in substation design and construction, and it will increase their chances of success. The design phase requires consideration of various factors, including the load requirements of the substation, the voltage levels, and the available space. The design must also comply with all applicable codes and standards. The electrical contractor must be able to develop a design that meets all of these requirements. The installation phase requires careful planning and execution. The electrical contractor must be able to coordinate the work of multiple trades, including electricians, engineers, and technicians. The electrical contractor must also be able to ensure that all work is performed safely and according to the engineering drawings and specifications. The testing phase is critical to ensure that the substation is functioning properly. The electrical contractor must be able to perform a variety of tests, including insulation resistance tests, transformer turns ratio tests, and protective relay testing. The electrical contractor must also be able to interpret the test results and to identify any problems. The commissioning phase involves putting the substation into operation. The electrical contractor must be able to energize the substation and to verify its performance. The electrical contractor must also be able to train the personnel who will be operating and maintaining the substation. The selection criteria for the electrical contractor will vary depending on the specific requirements of the project. However, some common selection criteria include experience, qualifications, financial stability, and price. The client will also consider the electrical contractor's safety record and their ability to manage complex projects. The electrical contractor must be able to demonstrate their expertise in all of these areas in order to be selected for the project.